Alright, general commentary and review of my play experience so far. This is obviously Millennium Wars Korea. Yep. The bottom line up front, this is a real success here. This is really a high point. I mean, considering considering how much game, I guess that's going to be the common theme here. How much gaming you get out of a small package. I mean, can't be that expensive. I don't think my copy was that expensive. Really good. I'm just really good. Let me start here with this Joker here. This is a Chinese engineer vehicle. Nomenclature GCZ-112. It's tracked. Has a armored superstructure there. Hatches. This must be the blade. I'm guessing that's the blade. So main weapon, boom and bucket. Blade. Yeah, so GCZ-112. Chinese engineer vehicle. Alright. So, really interesting. The game comes with only 2 missions. That's where we start, right? So I was playing mission number 1, Unification. There is a second mission called Bad Blood. Only 2 missions doesn't sound like a lot, but that is very, very, very misleading. So to start with, you have optional startup forces. I mean, I think this game is just going to give a ton of replay value. You have optional startup forces. So now let's talk about the forces. All right, so here's an example. Headquarters, Armored Corps, Mechanized Corps, Infantry Corps, Airborne Special Operations Divisions, Non-Airborne Special Operations Divisions, Marine Division, Paramilitary Division, Cyber Cadre, Air Move Marker. So there are 19 different unit types. Obviously not all in one game or one play, but you're going to use a lot of these with all these different capabilities. And well, yeah, and then let's talk about I don't know what they call them, but unit what do they call them? These unit characteristics. These I guess they don't have a separate name, but you have a unit apart from just having combat and movement, traditional. You can have up to, I think, 6. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? You can have up to 6 different special characteristics. You can have this ignore Zocs. You can have this recon force raid capability. You can have this air-land battle capability. You can have this deep Zoc capability, self-supply capability, and information war capability. All right. Then you have C4I levels. So if an army, actually you have 4 different C4I levels, 0, 1, 2, 3. Each level plays quite differently. Then you have, then each turn, so again, here's an example. The scenario I'm playing lasts 10 turns. Mission number 1. Mission number 2 lasts 10 turns as well. I think that's fairly average. So that's important in my thinking anyways, that you get 10 turns to do certain things, which means that your decisions you make in these things, or the outcome, or the random outcomes, I would say these situations are always apt to be significant. So just for example, you're paying political points to buy reinforcements and replacements. So then you have this track here. You have your track. You have your political points, which can be, I think, 1 to 100, which is significant. I mean, not only is the political counter or political point changing along that spectrum, but you're also using those to buy reinforcements and replacements. All sorts of choices to be made there. Then you have, as you would expect, you have amphibious movement and operations, airborne movement and operations, air mobile movement. Then you have also in the turn you have information warfare with those outcomes. And those outcomes, I mean, again, this is each layer of variability. It's a layer of variability. So even just information warfare, these outcomes can, I mean, they can influence the state of units with respect to disruption. This can change the political index, the tracker I'm talking about. Index is what they call it. This can change, I mean, this can allow you to examine enemy units, all sorts of different things. You can change C4I level. It can change the C4I level. Then you're determining your superiority. So again, if it's 10 turns, for example, in my game, the first 2 turns I got rock air superiority, and that's already 20% of the game. That's already, I mean, that's sizable. That's enough to be possibly significant. Yeah. And then you have your normal combat, or actually I shouldn't say normal. More variability, you have 3 different CRTs. Raid, assault, air-land battle. So that's more variability. Then you have random events. So where are the random events? Where are they? Here they are. Random events table. So then you have random events table. And, man, this is Joseph Miranda, I think, right? Well, he really pulled out all the stops. Yeah, Joseph Miranda. Well, he really pulled out all the stops here because, for example, not only do you have a random events table, but you even have embedded within the random events table, you have scenario special events, possibly. So not only do you have a set random events table, the last 3 events can be scenario specific events, if applicable. So in mine, you had all the normal random events table, then you have 3 scenario special events. You know, Chinese have a crisis elsewhere, then Korea, NATO allied forces engaged elsewhere, and political situation in Korea. Yeah, then you have scenario special rules on top of it, all that. This is just a ton. Again, I'm talking about just variability, layers of variability, layers upon layers of variability. So I know some will complain maybe that it's too unpredictable. I don't know, maybe. I obviously haven't played enough to determine that, but I'm just saying you should get a ton of replayability out of what is essentially a small format game, 11 by 17 size map, 11 by 17 inch. I don't know what an average of. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick. An average of 25 to 35 units to a side. Man, this is really good. Good, interesting, a lot of really interesting decision making. If you're playing face to face, you're going to have another added level.